Hello, Patriots, and a Happy New Year to you. Who else is glad that 2020 is finally over? Say amen right there. Well, today we're going to have a video on the good, the bad, and the ugly concerning masks. But before we do that, I want to tell you about a special contest I'm hosting here on the channel. It's called the Home of the Brave contest. And this is the way that it's going to work. I'm going to put up a post on Facebook and on Parler. And I want you to take a picture of yourself with the most patriotic thing you have in your home. Whether that's something that you made, something that you bought, and then go to my post on my page on either Facebook or on Parler, and they both have the same name. It's at Lee Watts, Kentucky. So you go to the post that I've put up, and in the comments section, you add your picture. And then whichever person gets the most thumbs up or arrows up like they do over in Parler, that is going to be the winner. Now, the way that you can help yourself out to win the prize is you tell your friends, hey, about this contest I've entered, and then make sure that you share this. You can do that on Facebook by hitting the share icon. You can do that on Parler by hitting the little megaphone icon, and that will share it with other people saying, hey, make sure you go to the at Lee Watts, Kentucky page and hit like on that page. If it's a like somewhere else, it's not going to count. It has to be a like on the Facebook or Parler page. That way I'll have all the votes together. And you can post pictures on this up until 10 o'clock Eastern Time on January the 20th. So again, take a picture of the most patriotic thing in your home. The Home of the Brave, have you in the picture. Put it on my Facebook page or my Parler page, and then we'll count the votes to see who's going to win. And the winner will be announced on January the 22nd during the regular weekly Patriot Point video. And the winner will get their choice of two different prizes. You can either get this Patriot Point t-shirt, and we'll make sure to get it in your size, or I will send you a copy of the book that I have written called War of the Realms. It's about a country that was founded on faith and freedom, but they leave their faith and give away all of their freedom, and of course trouble ensues, but it's a group of patriots who work to win their country back. So this is the Home of the Brave contest. I hope that you'll be a part of it, and we'll look forward to seeing the pictures that you all will add into my Facebook and my Parler page. I think we're going to see some great patriots and have a lot of patriotic things in their home. Well, let's today go to our topic of this week, which is the good, the bad, and the ugly concerning masks. Now, have you ever been wearing a mask and you ever feel like this?
I can't breathe in this thing.
I know that's the way a lot of people are like. They're like, I cannot breathe when I've got that thing on. Well, let's start off with the good about masks. And this may be surprising. People are like, Brother Lee, throughout the years, you've been giving masks a hard time throughout 2020, and you're going to say something good about it? Yes, masks are very good at a few things. First of all, the thing that a mask is designed for, and it is very good at, is stopping bacteria from escaping from your mouth. Think about it. That is why a surgeon wears a mask. When you have a surgeon getting ready to go operate on a person, I mean, they're cutting the patient open. Do they wear a mask because they think they might have a virus? No, there's not a competent surgeon in the world that would dare to operate on somebody if they thought they had a virus. That mask is not designed to keep a virus from the doctor to the person that they are cutting open. It is specifically designed to stop the bacteria from the surgeon's mouth and all the people helping the surgeon from that bacteria getting into the patient or onto any of the equipment. So masks are excellent at stopping bacteria, not designed whatsoever for stopping viruses. You know what else masks are good for? Masks are good for a bunch of crooks. We have a link to a story on WLKY Channel 32 out of Louisville, and they say how the police are having a terrible time because of masks, because crooks are going to all the stores and they're able to steal things and they can't identify the thieves through the security cameras. Because you got a mask on, you got a hat, maybe glasses, and we have that story linked here in the description of this video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a whole lot of sources. All of the sources for all of the information is in the link of this video. You don't have to take my word for any of this. All of this is well documented, and I hope that you will check it out. Then the first one is how thieves love masks because now it's super hard for the police to be able to identify who the thief is. So that's a story that came out on December the 30th. We've looked at some of the good about masks. Now let's look at the bad. The bad part about masks relates to the good part about masks. Remember, what masks are really good for is stopping bacteria. But that is also the reason why they are also very bad. Because when you're wearing a mask, it stops the bacteria coming out of your mouth. It traps it there so it doesn't go anywhere else. So what happens the next time that you breathe in? You are breathing in bacteria from your mouth, now breathing that into your throat and into your lungs. And you know what happens when you get bacteria in your throat or your lungs? You get sick. And then when you go to the doctor, you know what it's often being diagnosed as? You've got COVID-19. A self-fulfilling prophecy where healthy people, they would have been healthy if they weren't wearing a mask, but it's making healthy people sick. And there's something that really relates to this right now. Dr. Anthony Fauci, who is supposed to be leading the charge for America's response to this, he wrote an article back in October the 1st of 2008 in the Journal of Infectious Diseases. That article is linked in this video. And he talks about the Spanish flu virus of 1918 and 1919. And he says in that they did a study and they found overwhelmingly that a very minority of people actually died because of the Spanish flu virus. He says that the majority of people who died of bacteria-related things, such as bacterial pneumonia, which is on a steep incline this year. Do you know why that is? Well, because back in 1918, they told everybody, hey, there's a virus out, everybody should wear masks. And so what happened? The majority of deaths because of that were not of the virus. According to Dr. Fauci's own report, the majority of people who died because of bacteria infections, such as bacterial pneumonia. And that is exactly the same thing that we are seeing today. We are seeing bacterial pneumonia and bacterial diseases spiking. You know why that is? Bacteria and viruses are separate things because the mask blocks bacteria, then you breathe it back in, and that makes healthy people sick. It happened in 1918. More people died from that than actually died of the virus, and the exact same thing is happening now in 2020 and now into 2021. Also, something that's really bad about these mask here is what it says on the box. This is the bad thing for those who want to push that masks are good. Notice what it says on the box. It says this product will not provide any protection against COVID-19 coronavirus or other viruses. Does it say, hey, if you wear one of these things, it will protect you and it will protect others? It doesn't say that, does it? It does say the exact opposite. It says this will not protect you or anybody else at all. It specifically says this will not give you any protection. To say, if I wear this, I'm helping to protect others is a direct lie, and I cannot support it. That's one of the reasons why I will not wear them, because I will not put my stamp of approval on the lie that is protecting me or anybody else. Here's one of the ugliest things about masks right now is the results that they are getting. Here's a little chart that shows you when the mask mandate came out here in Kentucky and where we were at about 500 cases and where it's at today after masks. It is now up today to about 500% higher than it was before masks came out. It's kind of an ugly result, isn't it? If masks worked, shouldn't the number of cases be going down or at least staying steady? And instead of doing that, they're going up a dramatic amount. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, who is also a medical professional, talked about this in an article in Newsweek magazine on December the 20th of 2020. And he says, hey, listen, you'll notice that every state, every city, every country that has instituted a mask mandate has caused the number of cases to increase exponentially. That's what he said in the article, which you can find linked in the description of this video. That is a terrible result, kind of ugly for the idea that we should be using masks. Tell you something else that's kind of ugly is this chart that you'll see I've got up here. This is a report from the CDC, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. They did a study on how often people wear masks to how often they get sick. Notice the results here. People who say they never wear a mask account for 3.9% of COVID patients. People who say I rarely wear a mask also account for another 3.9%. It says, well, I sometimes wear it. Then it goes up to 7.2%. People say, I often wear it, 14.4% of patients. And then people who say, I always wear the mask account for 70.6% of all COVID cases. Now, wait a second here. If masks work, shouldn't these numbers be backwards? And yet we're seeing the more often that you wear the mask, according to the CDC report, which is linked in this video. You can find it on page 1290, I think it's 1296 of that report, near the top of the page. They show in their report that the more often you wear a mask, the more often you get sick. And do you know why that is? Because masks trap bacteria, which you breathe back in, and you then made healthy people sick. And the CDC report proves that beyond any shadow of a doubt. Well, we've talked about the good, we've talked about the bad, we've talked about the ugly. And so I'm going to give you a bonus topic. We're going to talk about the asymptomatic. Asymptomatic means you have the virus, but you're not showing any symptoms of it at all. You're not suffering from it, but you have it. And so the idea is that, well, then you might be spreading that and killing all kinds of people. This is wholly incorrect. It is a bold-faced lie, and now I'm going to prove that. In a study of more than 10 million people who were asymptomatic that was conducted, results of this study about these people was released November the 20th of this past year. And you can look up the link for that in the description of this video. And this is what the report says about people who they were asymptomatic and whether they spread it or not. And the exact words talked about asymptomatic people spreading it says, quote, that did not occur at all, end quote. This is a massive study, 10 million asymptomatic people, and it says it did not spread it at all. This has been backed up by the World Health Organization. Dr. Maria Van Kerkhove, if I've pronounced her name correctly, please forgive me if I haven't. She is the head of the Emerging Diseases section of the World Health Organization. She is also cited in this same report saying that we don't have evidence that asymptomatic people can actually spread the virus. So you don't need to wear this if you are asymptomatic, because even if you are, you don't spread the virus. Now, you know what I call somebody who doesn't show any symptoms of the disease, they don't suffer any side effects from it at all, and they don't give it to others? Some people call that person asymptomatic. I call that person healthy. It means they're not sick and they're not making other people sick as well. So, in summary today, let me ask you 4 simple questions. First of all, since the mask mandate has come out, has that caused cases to go down or to go up? And it's gone up by quite a bit, hasn't it? According to the CDC report, does it show that if you wear a mask, that it decreases your chances for getting sick? Or does the CDC report say this increases your chances for getting sick? Do asymptomatic people actually spread the virus? And the last question is, does the box that these things come in say this is going to help protect you or anybody else at all? Answer to that is no. You know what this thing is right here? This is a lie. It has nothing to do with stopping the spread of this virus at all, as all of the documented evidence and reports that we have given you today emphatically prove. This is all about who will obey and has nothing to do with a virus. In fact, as we have proven to you today, this actually is making healthy people sick. So, what are we going to do about this? We need to remove this mask mandate in Kentucky and the entire United States immediately. And we need to be pushing back against those who are trying to enforce this, making healthy people sick. If this worked, if masks really worked, then why is not every business open at full capacity? If this worked, they should all be open. If this worked, Governor Andy Beshear shouldn't have released a bunch of convicted criminals out of jail because of the virus, because he could have kept those convicted criminals in jail and just given them a mask. So, that is the good, the bad, and the ugly about masks. Make sure that you go and look for that my Facebook post or Parler post and add into that post your pictures of the most patriotic thing in your home for the Home of the Brave contest. And until next week, I'm Lee Watts for Patriot Point. Stand strong and breathe free.